देखो कैसा कैसा नाच बनाया, 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 देखो कैसा कैसा नाच बनाया। ये शाक है मन भाया, ये शाक है मन भाया, देखो कैसा कैसा नाच बनाया, देखो कैसा कैसा नाच बनाया, देखो कैसा कैसा नाच बना। छूम छूम छनन छनन गिद गिनदा, छूम छूम छनन छनन गिद गिनदा, तगड़ तका तग तूंग तू कटकत्ता गिद गिनदा, तगड़ तका तग तूंग तू कटकत्ता गिद गिनदा, कैदा 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 गिद गिनधा धा धा, सब बजल से को रिझाया, सब बजल से को रिझाया, देखो कैसा कैसा नाच बनाया, देखो कैसा कैसा नाच बनाया। देखो कैसा कैसा नाच बनाया, सुंदर रूप भूप महाराजा, सुंदर रूप भूप महाराजा, मेहरबान हो के ने ख्वाजा, मेहरबान हो के ने ख्वाजा, जैसा नादी दिन वैसा बाजा, जैसा नादी दिन वैसा बाजा, बजत घूंघरू छननन छननन, बजत घूंघरू छननन बजत घूंघरू छननन 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 छननन, बजत घूंघरू छननन छननन, जैसा गाया है बन पाया खासा मेल मिलाया, जैसा गाया है बन पाया खासा मेल मिलाया, देखो कैसा कैसा नाच बनाया, देखो कैसा कैसा नाच बनाया, देखो कैसा कैसा नाचू कैसा कैसा नाचू कैसा कैसा नाचू बना
Abhi on? Yes. Okay. So, assalamu alaikum. Bahut bahut shukriya. First and foremost to T2F for having me. It's a great honor to be here, to have spent 3 days with a fabulous group of workshop participants, and now to share a little bit more about the art form with you. For the most part, out of comfort, I'm going to be speaking in English. My Urdu is chalta hai. So I will do you all a favor and stay in the language I'm probably a little better at. So, and of course, with great regard to the wonderful artists and the master who you're yet to see join us today. But Khan Saab, thank you so much for being here with me today. Yousuf Kerai, we all met less than a week ago, and so you are really experiencing tonight what is truly Kathak, upaj, improvisation. Yes, we've structured a little bit, but much of even within that structure is going to be really just about joy and chemistry and honestly trust. That's what happens with the dancer and musician. So I also ask that you trust us to have a good show, and we ask for your blessings. We begin our second piece in what we call tat. Tat, in relation to dance, is the highly stylized tuning of the mind, the body. It's the chance to explore a given tal, or rhythmic structure. Tonight, to begin, we will start in teen tal, rhythmic cycle of 16 beats. We will build up a little bit of footwork. You'll hear the nuances coming from the music as well. I'll hit crisp stances, followed by the andaz of the bron, the niga, the gardan, sas, the subtleties of Kathak, building us into various bol paran, bandish, the recitation of various compositions, which I will sometimes recite, and then we'll dance, sometimes we'll go right into it. All based, again, on a very particular number of beats, as well as a very particular language, syllables, in which I will be dancing. So, without further ado, Vedlam Bidlaya Tintal. Chandrakons. Chandrakons mein? हाँ, माफ कीजिए फिर से. हाँ. क्या बात है? क्या बात? day, da day, da, diggity day, da day, da day, da, diggity day, da, din, din. Din, din, da, day, din, da, din, da, day, da, da, yeah, da, ah. Da, ye, da, ah, da, din, da, ah, de, da, ki, de, da, da, ga, ga, da, ki, de, da, ga, de, ga, da, ga, di, ge, de, da, ge, ga. Da, ge, di, ge, da, da, din, de, da, ki, de, da, ga, ga, da, ki, de, da, ga, de, ga, da, ga, di, da, ge, ga, da, ge, din, ge, da, din, da, de, da, ki, de, da, ga, ga, da, ki, de, da, ga, de, ga, da, ga, di, ge, ne, da, ge, ga, da, ge, din, ge, da, din, da, de, da, ki, de, da, ga, da, ki, de, da, ga, de, ga, da, ga, di, ge, ne, da, de, da, da, de, da, de, da, de, da, 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 ah. Sabat. Din. Da. Na. Din. Din. Da. De. Din. Sabat. Din. We'll take a series of thigh-highs. Thigh-highs are patterns that repeat themselves 3 times. Each thigh-high will start from a different beat, but always come back to 1. Din, da, din, da, de, da. Din, da, na, din, da. First thigh-high from the 1. Dig-da-dee-dee, 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 thay, dig-da-dee-dee, thay, dig-da-dee-dee, thay, dig-da-dee-dee, thay, dig-da-dee-dee, thay, dig-da-dee-dee, 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 thay, dig-da-dee-dee, thay, dig-da-dee-dee, thay, dig-da-dee-dee, thay, dig-da-dee-dee, thay, dig-da-dee-dee, 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 thay, dig-da-dee-dee, thay, dig-da-dee-dee, thay, dig-da-dee-dee, thay, dig-da-dee-dee, da. Din, da, da, din. Din, da, da, din. From the 10. 9, din, da, de, din. From the 2. Da. Din, da, de, da. Din, from the 11. 9, 10, da, say. Da, say. Da, da. 2. Dig-a-da, dig-a-hey, dig-a-da, do, dig-a-da, din, ah, dig-a-da, da, dig-a-da, da, de, ah, dig-a-da, da, ah, no. Din, da, din. 12, din, da, de, din, da. 4, 2, 3, and 8. Din, da, 13. Din. din, da, de, din, din. From the 5. And, da, din, da, 5, 8, do, 8, do, din, da, 5, 8, do, 8, do, din, da, 5. We'll see how long the hair is going to last tonight, huh? Da de de da, da de de da. Ah, kya baat hai? Yousuf has just learned. These are all compositions for my Guruji. No, thank you. That would go against my training to have water. But thank you. I get very desperate. But speaking of my training, these are all compositions composed by my Guruji, Pandit Shehroze Das. And in the short time that Yousuf and I have had together, he's been able to not only absorb the compositions, but sort of these patterns in the mathematics behind it. So it's just been a joy. And thank you for putting so much of your time and energy to bring what we've just demonstrated.
We've learned a lot, and I wish he wasn't going away.
So, table? Yes. So speaking of my Guruji and sort of his contributions to the art form, a little bit about my own history. I know that Marvi gave a little bit of an introduction. So you can see, or hear I should say, and obviously with my English, I sound very American, and I am, born and raised in California. And growing up, I did start dancing at the age of 5, but not Kathak, thank you. I actually was trained in Western forms of dance, ballet, jazz, and I did that until I was about 18 years old, and then I went away to college in San Francisco. I was very lucky, very much right place, right time, right place, because what I was able to stumble upon was that not only Kathak was offered at my university, but it was taught by none other than the man who did become my Guruji, Pandit Shehroze Das, who is originally from Kolkata. He was the first to bring the art to the West, and he was truly a traditionalist and an innovator at the same time. He trained myself and all of my, as we say, Guru sisters, to have knowledge, tayari, preparedness, strength, as well as all the nuances, the khubsurat, the delicacy, the nazakat in the form. One of his greatest contributions, and I will humbly share this with you today, is that of which we call Kathak yoga. Yoga, it's now a worldwide phenomenon. Comes from the Sanskrit word yug, meaning union. Yoga in this form, it's the union, of course, as we know in the traditional form, union of mind, breath, holding poses, and so on. In the case of Kathak yoga, it's all of that, but using the medium of Kathak to bring this union. So when Guruji first came to the States in 1970, he didn't have the luxury of all these musicians that he had access to while growing up in Kolkata. So he had to learn to bring that through himself. He learned to recite the teka, the language of the drum, bring the melodies, the nagma, the lehera of various ragas, and eventually this transitioned into, this was his mode of practice, eventually it became the way he taught, where he would put the tabla on the table, play the tabla, recite, sing, dance simultaneously. Little by little, the students started picking up this technique, where we used the finger cymbals, the manjita, to do so, and eventually took on the playing of the harmonium. By no means am I an expert in playing the harmonium. I often teach this way, and out of tribute to my Guruji, who passed just a year ago, I really honor him by bringing this innovation, and for the first time, it is being shared in Pakistan. And so that is a great honor to me, and I hope to him, and I ask for your, please, I ask for your blessing, your forgiveness, if I mess anything up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be playing a melody in the same 16-beat cycle. I'm going to progress in the speeds of my footwork. We have a basic footwork. Ta, te, te, tat, a, te, te, tat, tat, I will increase these sounds of 8 steps in one set of tatkar. I'll increase the number of sets in each avartan, or cycle of teen tal. Eventually, I'll build into some more rhythmic patterns and leading into yet another tihai, a pattern that repeats itself 3 times. So, Wish me luck. Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11, 12, and I'll start with 1/8 and 1/16. One din na din din da da din 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 da na din da de de din na din 2 8 and da din da da din off the beating and na din da de de din gun da din da 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 na da de din chogun 4 8 da din off the beat da da din da on da de din 6 8 da din da da din da da din da de din 8 8 da na din da da din da na na din da de 12 8 da da na da din 16 8 da da din 24 da be high and da 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 na da 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 na da da da. All good, and then I'll let you introduce. Next concert, Yousuf and Shehroze will be doing with their instruments, right? That's it. Thank you. Aziza Jan? Miss Mahara Kinge.
As we've been working with Farah for the last 6 days, it was great because, I've always heard my Ustad Khursheed Hussain talk about how there was a time he used to play with all the great Kathak dancers of Karachi and Pakistan. And he had learned so many tuklas and todas and whatnot. And I was बेटा तुम्हें कितना टाइम लगा? He said, "Guruji, 20 साल." तो हमें फिर कम से कम 20 दिन तो दो ना. Basically, to play with dance, tabla players to work closely with the dancer for many years and memorize things so that they can fall together on beat. But what transpired out of this process was how they understand each other spontaneously. She, him, her, and something fantastic came out of it. I mean, without further ado, I invite on stage the legendary Ustad Khursheed Hussain.
इतना अच्छा माशाल्लाह बजाए, इतना मज़ा आ रहा था। ये मेरे साथ भी थोड़ा सा वक्त पास करना चाह रही हूँ, बस आपके साथ पसंद आ जाए। ये नाच जो है याद का बचता है, इसको याद करना पड़ता है। इसमें कमी है कि और डांसर का बहुत एक ही होना चाहिए, तो फिर कुछ और बात है। बाकी थोड़ी सी रेसन की है मैंने।
The beat he's going to be playing is called Dhamar, which is a 14-beat cycle. And Ustad, you wanted me to mention that the crowd should know exactly the kind of flow and pattern of 14 beats. So I'll actually let Farah go ahead and describe it.
Sure. So what we were doing before, Teen Tal, 16 beats, it was very evenly distributed. It was 4 sections, 4 beats each. 4, 4, 4, 4, 16. Dhamar, not so easy. The vibhags, as we say, the sections of the tal, pehle 5, uske baad 2, uske baad 3, uske baad 4. So bahut mushkil hai, and it really takes, for me, Khan Sahab, of course, Ustad Sahab is in a different caliber, different league, but it takes just quite a bit of listening to always know. That's the challenge for the dancer and the musician, is to always know where you are in the beat, and to ideally come together on the sum, that one. Hum dekhenge. And I hope you don't mind, this is my tour manager Sahiba, Aziza. She is a dancer herself, and she just needs to make sure everything is going well for me tonight. So, yes. So please don't mind that she's there with me. Yes. Ga, de, da, a, ga, di, na, di, de, da, a. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let the games begin. De, da, ga, di, na, ga, de. Da, ga, di, ga, de. Daga daga dungata to takita de kita taka tun kata gadi gena tun ganu gatak tuna kat tigra tay 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 tigra tay 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 kat de da ga di daga daga dunga da do takita de kita taka tun kata gadi gena tun ganu gatak tuna kat tigra tay 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 tigra tay 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 kat de da ga de a ga di na de da a ga di na di de tam daga daga dunga da to takita de gita taka tun gata ga di gena tun ganu gata ka tuna kat tigra di tay ek do di cha pa che ta de tam daga daga dunga da to takita de gita tak tun gata ga di gen tun ganu gata tuna kat tigra di tay ek do di cha pa che ta kat de da a ga di na de da a ga di na di do tin cha pa che sa te do tin cha pa che sa te do tin cha pa che sa te do tin cha pa che sa hey do tin cha pa che sa te do tin cha pa che sa te do tin cha pa che sa te do tin cha pa che sa hey do tin cha pa che sa te do tin cha pa che sa te do tin cha pa che sa te do tin cha pa che do tin cha pa che sa te 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 do tin cha da क्या बात है दे दा आप चाहिए दे दा क्या दी ना क्या बात है क्या बात क्या बात क्या बात है क्या बात है क्या de da ga di na ga de da a ga di na di egg do di egg do di egg क्या बात है गदीना da agadina di de da egg do tin egg do tin egg do tin egg do tin egg do ga do tin egg do tin egg do tin egg do tin egg do de da agadina di de ga de da agadina ga de क्या बात है thank you क्या बात है ga da agadina slowly the layers are going to come off watch Sabab de da ga क्या बात क्या बात क्या बात Gadina, di de, God, might as well, huh? De, da, क्या बात? Ga, de, क्या बात? Ga, de, da, gadina, di. क्या बात है क्या बात है क्या बात da agadina di de da agadina क्या बात है उस्ताद खुर्शीद हुसैन क्या बात बहुत शुक्रिया So no Kathak performance would be complete without story. Kathak comes from the word katha, meaning to tell stories, and the kataka must become the storyteller. Many of the stories of Kathak, the history is such, it started as a tradition of the wandering minstrels and bards, going from village to village, temple to temple, often telling the stories of the great epics, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. When the Mughals came into India, Kathak was the dance form that was most influenced by this Mughal culture. You see it often in the tehzeeb that exists in Kathak. You see it very heavily in the music as it became much more complex and evolved in its rhythms and its technique. in its composition format. And now more and more, and I'm very lucky to say, I'm even drawing on the stories of those times. So just a year ago, last January, I had the opportunity to premiere a new work that was choreographed by myself called The 20th Wife. It's based on a novel by an author who is originally from India, now also resides in the US, by the name of Indu Sundaresan. The title, The 20th Wife, comes from the book itself. The 20th wife is none other than the 20th wife of Emperor Jahangir, the great Nur Jahan. And of course, her birth name, Mehrunissa. So the book really focuses on Mehrunissa becoming the 20th wife. Later, the sequel goes on to focus on her in that seat of power, but what did she have to do? What did she have to endure to even come into that place? It's a great love story, as is the one of Salim and Mehrunissa. It's often overshadowed by, of course, Mumtaz Mahal and Shah Jahan. I mean, how can you deny the beauty of the Taj Mahal? But if it were not for Mehrunissa, who was actually Mumtaz Mahal, Arjuman's aunt, that piece of history would not exist either. So, and it's often said that part of the reason we don't hear so much about Nur Jahan is because she was just that powerful. So it's a great honor for me to invoke some aspects of her life. The book is historical fiction. Much of it is historical, slightly embellished. So tonight, the show itself is a full-length production. It's me playing all the characters. I have 4 musicians, live narration from the book. Tonight, I'm going to give you just an excerpt of that, sort of scene selects with a little bit of the narrative woven in to carry you through the story. So we're going to take a 400-page novel, which I had whittled down to an hour-and-a-half show to now about a 10 to 12-minute piece. So, Mehrunissa's life on fast forward. Our story begins. Mehrunissa is a young girl. Her family has fled Persia. Her father has befriended somebody who is heading towards India and invites the family along. They should land up in Akbar's court, where Mehrunissa's father, Ghias Beg, is able to get in quite closely with the emperor, become employed by him, and the family thus becomes very much part of that royal environment. Mehrunissa, therefore, gets a chance to see the inner workings of the Zanana, and most importantly, she sees, just at 8 years old, she attends Salim's first wedding, and staring from the Zanana balcony, watching, just trying to get a glimpse of the prince, she sets her eye on him. Years go by. Salim marries over and over, mainly political marriages, and she's just watching from afar, always dreaming about him. One day, she should happen to see him, and he, more importantly, see her. He falls in love, as she already was. But, unfortunately for Mehrunissa, there were other plans. Akbar wanted to honor a Persian soldier and essentially instructed Ghias Beg, Mehrunissa's father, that she must marry this Persian soldier, Ali Kulli. Gone were Mehrunissa's dreams of one day becoming an empress. But to begin our story, I introduce Mehrunissa and the second time that she and Salim meet, where, yes, there is no denying the love, but she must push him away as she is now engaged. Mehrunissa and Salim. क्या बात Rindana, Rindana, Rinda. Mehrunissa. A beautiful woman. She seemed to live up to her name. Son of women. A brilliant child her spirit, her smile, her laughter, the mischievous glint in her blue eyes. It's the day of her second meeting with Salim. The first had been so wonderful. She knew she'd captured his attention. But now, she was engaged, somewhat lamenting in the garden, but still dreaming, fantasizing. Ek do teen, ek do teen, ek do teen char, ek do teen char, ek do teen, ek do teen, ek do teen char, ek do teen char, ek do teen char, panch, ek do teen char, panch, ek do teen char, panch, cha na 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 na, ek do teen char, panch, ek do teen char, ek do teen char, panch, cha na 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 na, ek do teen char, panch, ek do teen char, panch, ek do teen char, panch, cha na 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 na, din da da, din da. She sits under the tree. Salim walks into the garden. He sees the veiled girl, calls out to her. Not knowing it's Merunissa, she rises and walks to the prince. Suddenly, a breeze sweeps through the garden, and the veil molds her face. Salim sees it's Merunissa, grabs her wrist, he lifts her veil. Suddenly bold, he tilts her face towards his. She pushes him away. I cannot, Your Highness. He asks why. Laughter in his eyes. Ek do teen, ek do teen, ek do teen char, ek do teen char, ek do teen, ek do teen, ek do teen char, ek do teen char, ek do teen char, panch, ek do teen char, ek do teen char, panch, ek do do teen 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 char char char, panch, ek do teen 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 char char char, panch, ek do teen 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 char, panch, da. I cannot. I'm engaged to be married. Gone are her dreams. Salim tells her, do not worry. I will talk to the emperor. Everything will be fine, Merunissa. You just wait and see. Da, din, da, da, de, da, da, de, da, da, de, da. Salim goes to Akbar, rushes to him, says, I want to marry Merunissa, the daughter of Ghias Beg. Akbar says no. Why? Before this incident, Salim, irritated that his father has lived for so long, holding power for so many years, Salim feeling that power is now his, poisons his father. He conspires with Akbar's doctor. Akbar lives, but he is now aware of the betrayal of his son. So now when Salim comes to him for Meherunissa's hand in marriage, absolutely not. The scene between Akbar and Salim. Vilambitlaya Chandrakons. Din, da, din, da, de, da, Akbar. The third emperor loved da, da, din, da, din, da, da, din, da, din, da, tri, kaduna, tri, kaduna, tirana, ka, da, tay, 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 da, tay, 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 da, tay, 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 da, din, da, din, da. In the Divaniyam, takita, 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 takita. Ta-ta-tay, 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 ta-ta-tay. Din. Going over the business of the day. Na. Te, din, din. Da, din. He returns to his apartments. Da, din, na. Din, din. Little does he know. Salim. Da, din, da, din, da, din, da, na, din, da, din, da. Salim is conspiring with Akbar's Hakim. Frustrated, he says, "Why won't the old man die?" He wants that crown for himself. The Hakim tells him, "Don't worry. Akbar will not die. He'll just be incapacitated. And then Salim will have the throne." Akbar, in his apartments, a knock at his door. Dinna. The Hakim enters to give Akbar some medicine, not realizing it's poison. Dinna, dinna. Akbar drinks it. Din da da din din da da din din da da din din da na din din da da din din da da do तीन चार पाँच एक दो तीन चार पाँच एक दो तीन चार पाँच. Slowly, Akbar recovers, but he is not the same, and the relationship between Salim and Akbar has greatly deteriorated. Eventually, they reconcile, and Akbar, knowing he is aging, tells Salim he must have an heir and wants Salim to take the seat of power upon Akbar's death. On his deathbed, Salim has many years of regret for the years of estrangement with his father, and humbly promises, with all of that regret, to do his best to uphold his father's legacy and the great dynasty he has created. Meanwhile, Mehrunissa, married to Ali Kulli, loveless marriage, many years of trying to have a child, many miscarriages. Eventually, she does have a child, Ladli, returns to Agra for Arjumand, Mumtaz Mahal's engagement to Shah Jahan, then Khurram, where Salim sees her again. Even after years away from her, he falls in love with her all over again. And he sends a letter to Ali Kulli asking for the law of Timurs to be invoked in effect asking Ali Kuli to divorce Mehrunissa so she could be Salim's wife. Ali Kuli refuses. And in addition, he conspires with Salim's other son, Khusrau, to take over and dethrone the emperor. Upon hearing this, of course, angered by the rejection of Mehrunissa's hand in marriage, and now the conspiracy, Salim, now Jahangir, sends an army head up by the governor of Bengal to do as they wish with Ali Kuli. Ali Kuli comes out in the courtyard, swinging, kills the governor. The army has no choice but to retaliate. Mehrunissa sees the whole thing happening, sees her husband in all his rage, in his betrayal. She's now a widow. She returns to Agra. 4 years of being a widow, she returns, hears nothing from Salim. And then one day, at the Meena Bazaar, he sees her again. And now, she's available to him. But she's 34 years old, a widow, and has a child. None of this holds the emperor back from knowing this is the woman he wants to truly love. They reunite. This scene, however, describes that this is not happiness for everybody. One woman in particular, Jagat Gosni, the second wife to Prince Salim, Emperor Jahangir, is not happy at all because she sees this love and knows there will be power that comes along with that love. And as of now, she is the Padshah Begum. So she is certain to let Mehrunissa know, and anybody who will hear her out, that this woman should not come into the royal zanana. Jagat Gosni. Japtal. Adorning herself on the day of the Meena Bazaar. She makes her way down to the bazaar. Eyeing a necklace, a slave girl leans over and whispers in her ear. Jagat Gosni looks. She sees Mehrunissa and Salim. Love in their eyes. A love Jagat Gosni had never felt from her husband. Just then, Mehrunissa sees Jagat Gosni staring at them and stares back. The two battle it out. Na, di, da, di, na, 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 di, na, di, da, di. Jagat Gosni. Da, di, na, 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 di, na, di, da, di. Mehrunissa. Who, me? did I do? Goating hair. Da dee dee na 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 dee na dee dee. Pushes her. Dee na dee da dee dee na na taki da taki da taka de na taki taki taka de na de ka da ga da taki da taki da taka de na taki da taki taka de na de ka da ga. Nissa raises a eyebrow at Jagat Gosni, Dadi, and then turns back to Salim. Furious. Dadi, that woman will not come into the royal Zanana if I can help it. Dadi. Jagat Gosni. As you can imagine, as you know the story, most likely Jagat Gosni does not get her way. Mehrunissa does. On the 25th of May, 1611, Mehrunissa and Salim are married. Together, they make the Mughal Empire the most brilliant and brightest in the world. To express their love, a great piece by none other than Hazrat Amir Khusra to end our evening with you. Eri Sakhi.
Up अपने पिया के मैं बल बल जाऊं, अपने पिया के मैं बल बल जाऊं। चिरन लगायो निर्धन को, चिरन लगायो ओ निर्धन को, निर्धन को चरण लगायो, निर्धन को एरी सखे मोहे प्रिया घर आए। मैं तो खड़े थे आस लगाए, मैं तो खड़ी थी आस लगाए, मेहंदी कजरा माग सजाए, मेहंदी कजरा माग सजाए। मैं तो खड़े थे आस 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 लगाए, मैं तो खड़े थे आस लगाए, मेहंदी कजरा माग सजाए, मेहंदी कजरा माग सजाए। देख सूरतिया अपने पिया की, देख सूरतिया अपने पिया की। हार गई मैं तो तन बन को, 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 हार गई मैं तो तन बन को। एरे सखे मोए पिया घर आए, एरे सखे मोए पिया घर आए।
क्या बात है।
Thank you. Thank you.